Today, I'm announcing the United States is targeting the main artery of Russia's economy.
President Biden is banning Russian oil imports in retaliation for Vladimir Putin invading Ukraine.
That means Russian oil will no longer be acceptable at U.S. ports, and the American people will deal another powerful blow to Putin's war machine.
And the ban will have an impact on gas in the U.S., where prices are already reaching a record high.
Every industry is going to be impacted. Some are going to be impacted more than others.
And surveillance video shows reckless drivers ignoring traffic rules at a Denver intersection.
High speeds, high accelerations, all sorts of different behavior.
Plus, we finally have a decision from Aaron Rodgers, where it leaves the Broncos. We begin with that breaking news on Aaron Rodgers. The Packers quarterback is staying in Green Bay. Ian Rappaport says Rodgers and the Packers agreed to a 4-year, $200 million deal, making him the highest paid player in NFL history. Rappaport says this wasn't an easy decision for Rodgers. He considered retirement and the Broncos before re-signing with the Packers. Our Broncos insider Troy Rank says the Broncos were prepared for Rodgers to make that call and ultimately stay put in Green Bay.
I mean, they were bracing for this potential news because of the fact the way it's been trending, Jason, the last few weeks, just the posture of Rodgers, that he helped play a significant role in bringing back his former quarterbacks coach, Tom Clements. His relationship had improved with the Packers from this time a year ago. So other than Nathaniel Hackett, there wasn't really a reason for him to leave the Packers right now. And so the Broncos, they're disappointed because they were prepared to trade for him. They were prepared to be all in for him. But the reality is they knew over the last few weeks, it didn't feel like it was trending in their direction.
So where does this leave the Broncos? Well, Troy says the team will first make a call and try to get Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson. If not, then they may have to turn to another veteran, somebody like Jimmy Garoppolo, Mitchell Trubisky, or Marcus Mariota. Some more breaking news that we are following at 11. President Joe Biden is banning Russian oil imports to the U.S. It's part of the administration's effort to further isolate Vladimir Putin for invading Ukraine.
This is a move that has strong bipartisan support in the Congress and I believe in the country. Americans have rallied to support their Ukrainian people and made it clear we will not be part of subsidizing Putin's war.
Now that ban is expected to increase prices at the gas pump. The nationwide average price of a gallon of gas hit $4.17, a new record.
With this action, it's going to go up further. I said I would level with the American people from the beginning. And when I first spoke to this, I said defending freedom is going to cost. It's going to cost us as well.
As Faith Abube reports, the White House says banning Russian oil is necessary because fighting between Russia and Ukrainian troops is intensifying.
Thousands of rattled civilians in Ukraine, including the elderly, attempting to flee their destroyed neighborhoods while a temporary ceasefire still holds. A convoy of yellow buses heading to evacuate families from the Ukrainian city of Sumy. Overnight, the city under fire. Ukrainian authorities releasing this video showing the aftermath of a Russian airstrike in a residential neighborhood. Local officials say 21 people were killed, including 2 children. Rescue workers in the dark frantically cutting through debris, trying to rescue anyone trapped in the rubble. Pentagon spokesperson John Kirby welcoming Russia honoring the temporary ceasefire after breaking 2 prior agreements. Ukraine's President Zelensky defiant amid the Russian onslaught, saying we will defeat everyone, but still calling for more U.S. and NATO military support.
We are accelerating and expediting the shipment of arms and material to Ukraine. In fact, another shipments arrived in Eastern Europe just overnight.
As those weapons shipments from NATO countries enter Ukraine, a senior U.S. official tells ABC News that there are concerns that before the convoy of weapons even reaches Ukraine, the Russians could attack the supplies in Poland.
As a member of NATO since 1999, that would be an attack on the entire alliance. That's a game changer.
And as for the Russian oil ban, the president has stressed the importance of the U.S. and Europe coordinating their sanctions. But the White House says this time European nations, which rely much more on Russian oil, will have to decide to take that step on their own. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Taking a look at the stock market this morning, the announcement of banning Russian oil is pushing Wall Street into the green. Stocks are now up more than 500 points, but oil is close to $130 a barrel and could go as high as $170 a barrel by the end of the week. Banning Russian oil will likely have an impact on gas prices here. This is a gas price from AAA. Those red areas show where prices are the highest. Colorado gas prices have jumped more than 40 cents in the past week to $3.83 a gallon. For now, that's below the record high of $4.09, which was set in July 2008. And gas prices are up more than $1 from last year at this time, when prices were just $2.74. Now, AAA surveyed Colorado drivers back in January. It showed people would start making changes if gas hit $3.75, and Colorado's average is already above that. Drivers said they would make the decision to drive less often, combine trips, or use fuel rewards programs to save money. Data from the government shows people didn't use less gas when prices set records back in 2008. Gas use stayed constant. Well, according to the New York Times, people cut back on dining out, shopping, and leisure travel then.
As a retiree, I travel around town, but that's about it. It's not a problem for me right now. If it gets much higher, yeah, we probably won't travel much.
The higher gas prices will have a big impact on our bank accounts. Some estimates show Americans could lose as much as $2,000 by the end of the year if gas prices don't go back down. Well, some people might stop driving and rely on something like public transportation. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us now with the math to see which option saves more money. Christian?
Well, Jason, about half of the drivers coming into Denver on any given day are driving by themselves. But is now the time to board a train on one of the many light rail stations that you pass by every morning? Well, I did the math to try to help you decide. So let's use the E-Line as an example. And this is what it looks like on RTD's website. So the E-Line runs from Lone Tree to Union Station. That's about 20 miles. So let's take a look at what that will cost you in terms of both time and money. So if you take the train, it's a $6 round trip ticket and a total of 1 hour and 45 minutes there and back. But keep in mind that there are 19 stops along the way. So your car will cost you a little bit more, but you are buying convenience. And let's assume that your car gets around 20 miles to the gallon. This means that you'd use about $8 worth of gas getting to Lodo and back. And I just checked Google Maps and the round trip drive time is about 50 minutes. So of course we're not figuring for insurance and maintenance in that breakdown. So we have to add a couple of dollars per day for most Colorado drivers. But there are plenty of people who actually don't have the option to take transit because they drive for a living, just like Business Inspector Nick Bennett.
They're outrageous. Yeah, I'm not really enjoying having to pay more. I drive for a living, so yeah, really kind of affecting me a lot. It's a little bit stressful for sure, Don't have a lot of extra money to pay extra for gas.
And another man we talked to said that his job actually just changed their driving policy this week and is asking people to carpool when they head out to job sites because they just can't afford to pay for all of that gas if people are driving individual cars. Reporting live in Denver this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
An interesting look at the numbers. Thank you, Christian. Now, there are some things you can do to save money at the gas pump. Increase fuel efficiency by driving 5 to 10 miles an hour slower. Use apps that show gas prices nearby. Join gas station loyalty programs. And in some cases, pay in cash. Sometimes you can save 5 to 10 cents a gallon. Now, Gas Buddy says the best day of the week to buy gas is on Monday. The worst day is Thursday, followed by Wednesday. Now, we spoke to a professor of finance from CU Boulder about the rising gas prices. He says nearly every industry will be impacted by higher prices, like food and other businesses that rely on gas and diesel.
The sad part of it is that the industries that get impacted and the types of goods that get impacted and services are the ones that form the largest budget share of the households of our blue-collar Colorado workers. And these are the workers that can afford it the least, and they have to bear the most burden.
You can find more 360 in-depth coverage on gas prices on the free Denver 7 Plus app for your favorite streaming device. We're seeing some pretty shocking videos from a Denver intersection. Cars just blowing through stop signs, not paying attention to speed limits, and even causing a few crashes. These videos are from the past year at 17th and Irving near Sloan's Lake. Now, we drove through that intersection and the stop signs are clearly visible. The homeowner who recorded that video and Denver's Department of Transportation don't have an answer for that reckless driving.
I wish I knew the answer. I can only guess, but I'm not sure what's going through the minds of drivers.
It seems like people are impatient, they're passing each other, they're missing the stop sign, they're not adhering to the stop sign at all, they're not taking their turns.
The city says a bike lane will be installed on 17th later this year, and the city hopes it will slow drivers down. Well, the EPA is giving 4 Colorado school districts money to replace old diesel school buses with newer, lower emission ones. The district will split more than $500,000 for 27 total buses. Now, 3 districts are in the metro: Adams 12, Boulder Valley, and Weld County District 6. The EPA also plans to announce a clean school bus program under the bipartisan infrastructure law. It will provide $5 billion to replace old school buses. Well, parents in the community will give their input tonight on Douglas County's search for a new school superintendent. The 2 finalists, Aaron Kane and Danny Windsor, spoke in front of the school board last week. The district wants to have a new superintendent in place by the end of the month. People have to sign up to give comments during tonight's meeting. That meeting starts at 5. Well, the state capitol is celebrating Colorado women on International Women's Day. The African Chamber of Commerce took women on a tour of the Capitol. They were able to meet with lawmakers, and for a lot of the visitors, it was their first time under that golden dome.
I think it's more important today for people to get exposure to different people from different backgrounds, and we have so many great women from all different backgrounds in leadership positions, and we just want to encourage more women to become leaders.
This is the 3rd year the chamber has hosted a tour like this. Well, still ahead, a former football player has his eyes on buying the Broncos. Plus, drone technology is having a big role in fighting wildfires.